I don't know if you've heard that concept of the big sort, where, sort of like-minded people who look alike are starting to move next to each other. And so
Yeah.
because, and I think COVID's not going to help this situation where, you're so disconnected from anyone who doesn't, or anyone who doesn't have sort of the same broad, philosophical or political feelings. And the only way you ever encounter anyone that doesn't think like you is on the internet, and then you just
Yeah.
scream and you put them on the internet. And so I feel like in a way it's only going to get worse because we're not around, we all don't watch the same 3 networks anymore. I mean, TV is fragmented. You have the internet, Facebook, there's a group for every niche interest.
Yeah.
And so you can sort of silo yourselves in these places where you don't ever encounter anyone that thinks any different than you. And then you start to think that that's the way the world works. And then because of the way our political system works now, as far as people aren't so much Democrats because they love Democrats, or they're not so much Republicans because they love Republicans. They're Republicans because they hate Democrats, and they're Democrats because they hate Republicans.
Yeah.
And so now we can't have civil conversation. And what's funny, the meanest people on the internet, if you meet them in person, they don't scream and yell in your face and spit at you and call you horrible names and want you shipped off to a camp, because we know better not to act like that. There's still a vestige of civility in our in-person meetings. It's just online where we, sort of let the demon out and start acting crazy. So,
I've been doing focus groups for 5 or 6 years in my office. We haven't done any since the quarantine, but before that we were doing a couple a month, and we would intentionally, and all lawyers do this, we would intentionally get the most diverse group of people we could. So we would have wealthy people, poor people, white people, black people, Hispanic people, men, women, old, young. And the thing that struck me, probably we've done 30 of these, and people are deliberating on very, very emotional, important issues, things that are, we could be talking about a death, we could be talking about corporate misconduct, all sorts of different really important issues. But what really struck me, Jesse, is in all of these focus groups, nobody has gotten into any sorts of really bad political fights. When people are together in the same room, by and large, they're nice to each other. They're polite. They're friendly. I mean, they may feel strongly about a certain position. They may argue strongly, but it's nothing like you see on social media. It's so much more innocuous.